and welcome again to Policing TV, where I'm joined once again by uh, City of London Commissioner Pete O'Doherty. Pete, thank you so much for joining us on Policing TV. We've recorded already two videos in this three-video series. This third video very much going to focus on your view of the challenges and opportunities for policing UK and internationally over the coming several years. So with that as the not quite the exam paper, but the sort of the question that I'm inviting you to answer. What's your thoughts on that? What areas are you particularly um, uh, excited by in terms of the opportunity? What areas are you particularly mindful of in terms of the challenge that policing UK and overseas has to address?
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, I think if it's okay, I'll start with the challenges because they are a precursor to opportunity. But as we know, the world feels a bit unstable at the moment. And as you know, what happens in the world around us directly impacts policing and the demand that we have to respond to. And at the moment, finance is a big challenge. There is no new money. Government carry a significant debt from COVID, Brexit. It wasn't until 2015, allegedly, the UK government paid off its debt from World War II. So there is an ever-pressing need for policing to drive efficiencies, collaborate more, and we'll come back to that. So there is no new money. Second of all, of course, you've got trust and confidence. We still have there is still a big need to improve trust and confidence in policing, particularly with underrepresented communities in policing. There's a lot of work to be done there, and we police by consent. So if we don't have the support of communities, automatically means we can't be as effective as we need to be. Then you've got the continued globalization of goods, people, services. You've got conflict worldwide. So we've got the situation in Israel, Gaza, Palestine. We have Russia, Ukraine, impacting cybercrime. I can keep on going. So all of this is significant. And I think lastly for policing, cops want to feel supported by public and government. And I think some cops out there are trying to do a good job, but some don't feel that they get the support that they need. And all of that are challenges, but it does mean there are big opportunities ahead, right? So the model of policing is a model that's been designed in the 1960s, apart from a number of regional collaborations. So through government's ambitions on reform, and there are significant ambitions to reform policing, there is a big opportunity here to change the policing model. And I do think that particularly digital data technology services should be nationalised for policing. I think the time has come when we can't justify using different systems, maybe different technology. It's expensive and we're not giving the public value for money. So I think breaking down structures and support services, enabling services is a big opportunity for policing. Second big opportunity, I think, is culture. We have amazing people joining policing. And I think we need to continue transforming culture and leadership so we get the best out of our people, motivated people using their skills and experience to affect change. I see that as a big opportunity as well. And I think third of all, partnerships, because particularly public sector partners are under the same pressure that we are as well around finance and technology. Big opportunities to collaborate more across various partnerships. And I think what we need to look at as a service is more evidence-based practice. So, we can keep responding to crime or we can do stuff to actually address it and solve it. And I'll give you one last example before you ask the next question. Our communications team here recently have been involved in the phone snatching work we're doing. Now, don't get me wrong, Bernard, we're out there arresting people. We're working with the telecoms companies to kind of reduce this. We're doing everything we can. And our amazing corporate comms team recently said, well, let's try and prevent this. And so using crime data, they sprayed massive blue plaques on the ground all across the city of London saying, look up, look out, because a member of the public had their phone stolen from this location. One of many things we're doing around prevention. So these are all opportunities that need to be explored more.
So I'm just going to touch on that third one, that last one, before I return to the ICT side. Yes, I was reading about the Blue Plaque Initiative. So for those unfamiliar with blue plaques in London, there are many properties that have a blue plaque on them that acknowledge that a particular individual was born there, a famous individual, or lived there for a period of time. And this City of London initiative was actually to have blue plaques on the pavement. Where they would catch the attention of those looking at their mobile phone because they're looking down at their mobile phone. And it's just that reminder that actually, when you're looking down at your phone, you're vulnerable. It's a great initiative that I was reading about just a little earlier. So I commend you, or commend actually your comms team,
Yeah,
for
it's always a good idea.
for their idea, and it's available online. You just need to search Blue Plaque City of London, please. Let's come back. We haven't spoken much about technology in these three um, videos to date. So you were talking about um, uh, uh, merging systems, ICT systems. So in very broad order, there are 43 forces in the UK. Actually, there's more than that. That's England and Wales. And I won't go into detail, but there's approximately 50 different police forces. Um, Scotland used to be 8 forces. They went through a period of mergers to bring one force, Police Scotland, and there were some teething challenges in bringing these systems there into one. Similarly, places like the Netherlands have been through
Mm.
procedures where they brought multiple systems into one. Now, in the UK, in England and Wales, perhaps specifically, there's significant challenges in persuading all stakeholders to um, follow the same line. I remember on uh, air support, for example, there was one force that was determined to follow its own line, and I think on 2 or 3 other areas as well. So, how do you persuade the multiplicity of stakeholders that there are? So, chief constables and commissioners, police and crime commissioners, the government bodies, Home Office and similar, and many other such stakeholders. How do you persuade them all to sign up to something like that?
So the reality was that is the main reason why it wasn't done as much as it could have been done before, because people weren't persuaded, Bernard, and the main reason being are that senior people, they are clear as to what they need technology to deliver. And when there is a kind of off the shelf product or a bit of technology for everyone, you may not get exactly everything you want. Okay. But what is going to now push that over the line is money, because we just can't afford to deliver and maintain all these different systems. And it will mean that chiefs don't get maybe 100% of what they want, but that's okay. And I think over time, people are now really open to that because they understand the pressures and see this as a big opportunity. And also because so much of crime now is cross border, it's technology enabled. Police forces don't work in isolation anymore. We are sharing data and information. We do joint operations. And I think because we've broken down those barriers and we're cooperative neighbours, the idea now of all sharing things seems more doable. So,
And
yes.
and so you see that in the work that you do with your fellow National Police Chief Council colleagues. You see it, do you, with police and crime commissioners, mayors, and others, that this is the direction of travel. It's on the ICT side, um, bringing things together, whilst let me ask the question, presumably retaining the local identity and the local activities of the individual police forces, whether it be the largest, the Met, or the amongst the smallest David Powis, for example.
Well, wow, Bernard, there are different views on this. So I think so. Mark Rowley a few weeks ago in the Times did a piece around perhaps having regional forces, and so I think a lot of chiefs, although there may be different views about, do we have lots of small forces or a few big forces? I think what we all agree on is that it needs to be within scope of the reform work. So we need to look at it. And in my view, Bernard, before we jump into structures and forces, we need to think about what is the policing mission the next 10 years? What services do we need to deliver? What capabilities do we need to deliver those services? Should those capabilities be locally, regionally, nationally? And then we can speak about structures and ownership. Um, yeah.
And indeed, I think still awaiting, or rather awaiting, some guidance from the Home Office on police reform.
Yeah.
that the Home Secretary has committed herself to um, uh, significant reform in the policing space. And I deliberately say policing rather than police because it goes into criminal justice, it goes into partner agencies and so on and so forth. So we're awaiting that. Perhaps actually, Pete, we can speak again once that's more in the public domain and
Sure.
something for the future. But I'm mindful of time. We've uh, on each of these three videos, we've spoken just a little longer than was the original plan. I'm grateful to you for allowing us that little more time. I'm going to bring things to a close on this third video and final video now, at least for the time being, Pete. And thank you very much indeed for putting the time aside for policing TV. I wish you, of course, and your City of London Police colleagues, officers, staff, volunteers, and indeed wider stakeholders, all the very best in your continued journey of improvement. And look forward to catching up at some point, I hope, in the not too distant future, whether online or indeed in person. So, Pete O'Doherty, Commissioner of the City of London Police. Thank you very
Thank you,
much
Bernard,
indeed.
and thank you for the opportunity.